everybody to this week's Texas Roadhouse press conference. As we get started, the athletic department would like to emphasize that fans can always purchase their individual football tickets before the game, so we can help alleviate pressure on lines at the ticket office. Fans can always get tickets from 12 to 5 Monday through Friday at the Wagner Noel, or they're available 24 hours a day online at utpbfalcons.com. We've got a lot going on this week. Men's soccer wraps up their California swing Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock against Stanislaus State. Volleyball goes on the road this week for a non-conference match at University of the Southwest at 7 o'clock. And Tuesday is also the Justin Kerrigan show from 6 to 7 at Scratch Kitchen across from campus. Friday, women's tennis begins play at the New Mexico State Invitational. Swimming has their first competition of the season at 2 o'clock on the road at Texas Christian. And volleyball has their Lone Star Conference opener at Western New Mexico at 5:30. Saturday, cross country is back in action at Texas Tech. Men's soccer is home against Texas A&M International, and football is on the road in their Lone Star Conference opener at Midwestern State in Wichita Falls at 7 o'clock. Sunday, women's soccer is back on campus for a 12 o'clock match against Lubbock Christian. All right, today we're going to get started with head men's and women's cross country coach Alec Musakuma. They had their first competition 2 weeks ago, had strong performances out of a whole bunch of freshmen, and like I said earlier, they run this week at Texas Tech on Friday. Saturday. Right, Coach. Coach, if you'd just like to start off, talk about your last meet and then getting ready for this coming week.
Last September 6th, we were at the Texas A&M in Canyon, Texas. We had a really good turnout. My freshmen really competed well, and I was extremely, very, very impressed with the way they ran, knowing that they don't have much experience. So they're getting well, and this year's recruiting class was one of the best recruiting class I've had in 4 years I've been here, and it makes it easy for me as a coach. Every day I'm looking forward to go to practice. This weekend it's going to be tough. We're competing against D1 schools, Texas Tech, Abilene Christian, and Bella. They're supposed to be there. So, but I told my athletes just to go there and put whatever you have done on practice and see where you are.
So when the younger runners do that well, what does it speak to their maturity already, even though they don't have that experience yet?
Everything with cross country and track and field, it depends on how you believe in yourself.
How exciting for you is it as a coach to have such a strong underclass group?
It makes my life easy.
What do you like most about coaching this group?
It's the way my team is. I have 10 guys and 9 girls. There are some more athletes who are still learning how to compete in college. And then you have also athletes who went to state meets, so they have that confidence that they can do it anyway.
All right. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank
you, Coach.
Thank you.
Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Okay, next up we'll bring head volleyball coach Tim Lesh, whose Falcons just went 3-1 at the Sept Classic up in Lubbock and started the year 7-1 in the season.
Good afternoon. Falcon Volleyball had another good weekend at the LCU tournament, placing second with a 3-1 record. And we started the weekend playing Dixie State on Thursday, and even though we lost that match, it was a really good experience. They're an NCAA caliber team with 2, maybe 3 All-Americans this year. And we played them close for most of the match. There were 1 or 2 times where we didn't play our game, but lost to them in 4, but it helped us mature and figure out what we needed to work on, and our players were able to apply that later in the weekend. It also motivated us to play better on Friday. We had 2 sweeps and had some of our new players step up that day, especially Stephanie Sanchez and Macy Barker had really good matches for us, and that's great to see freshmen step up and contribute at the college level. It's always hard for them just going to college, let alone playing sports and trying to contribute for a good team. So really proud of them. Then on Saturday we faced a very tough Pittsburgh State team, pushed us to play our best, and we were able to pull that out in 5. Team showed a lot of poise and composure, and it's a total team effort, but I'm really proud of Acela Murillo, Trevonna Matthews, and Skylar Frail, who really played well at the net for us in that match.
Coach, you talked earlier about how impressive your senior class has been, what great leaders they've been, knowing that your freshmen and underclassmen have stepped up. How does that make you feel, just knowing that it's pretty well-rounded?
Yeah, that was my hope, recruiting these players, and after having a strong season last year, it was really the key to this year is to get a few of those new players to step into our rotations and contribute, and we found a couple of them that are pretty consistent, and trying to find room for a couple more. But it's great for our senior class too, because they've had a little bit of help over the years. We had a couple of freshmen step up last year, but it feels like we have a complete team this year, where in the past we've had to rely on 2 or 3 players, maybe a little too much.
As a whole, from the weekend, you win a couple, you lose one, you come back and win another one. So how is that senior, you mentioned the poise of the team, how have you seen that with just going right back and getting that win right after?
It showed a lot of determination, and that might have been a match in the past that maybe we lost because we had to do some unusual substitutions. The team that we were facing played really well, and we had to elevate our game. And we had some big wins last year, but we also had a couple tough losses. And for our team to find a way to win, in some adversity after playing 3 matches already in the weekend, just really bodes well for this season. If we can continue that, this team has finished strong every match this year. If we can continue to do that, even with adversity, the sky's the limit.
Coach Trevonna Matthews, she said, last week, I believe, that this team is just all well-rounded. Like you said before, what does that say to this team's depth and overall talent of this team?
It speaks very highly of all the players. First, they buy into our system, and our system is a team system on offense and defense. It's not about any 1 or 2 players, and so they understand and believe that they've got to do their part. And every match is different. We're going to have different players step up and have a big game, but we have the potential for anybody to do that. We're going to give everybody some chances, and I want to say we've played 8 matches and had 8 different lineups, and haven't missed a beat. So the players buy into that, which is great, into the system, but they also buy into the philosophy of just playing hard, fighting for every point, playing together, communicating, stuff like that. So that's kind of what makes it fun for me, and I think for them too, when you're playing hard for the kid next to you.
What does that say going into your conference opener then this weekend, the confidence your kids have right now?
It does definitely give us confidence, and we've got to temper that with not being overconfident. In our conference, there's a bunch of good teams, and we can't overlook anybody. So, we're going to try and win our match tomorrow, and then focus on Western New Mexico this weekend. Fortunately, we just have 1 conference match this weekend, so hopefully we can be well prepared for them. But yeah, I think it gives the team, especially the new players, a lot of confidence that we can pull out a close match against a good team, even if we fall behind. So that's going to be crucial for our success. Our team motto is believe, and for them to believe in each other in adversity and in themselves, really, it's going to be the difference in some close matches.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, switching to football, we're going to start today with sophomore wide receiver Kobe Robinson. Kobe led the team with 120 yards and had 5 catches with an 80-yard touchdown this past Saturday. Kobe, so if you'll start, talk about this past week, where the team's at right now, how the locker room is feeling.
I feel like that we're feeling pretty good, that we're accomplishing everything that we've talked about since we started fall camp. We've just been gelling as a team, trying to progress and reach each and every goal that we've trying to accomplish this season. Our teamwork is believed, and that's what we in the locker room and try to do that. And that's just something we really harp on in our locker room, coaches' offices, and in our team meetings, especially in our team meetings.
So as a whole, in the wide receiver core, you guys are making some crazy plays, some fun plays, and a lot of the time what we're hearing from you and Kyle a lot is we're having fun. So what's that mentality like when you're just out here and just having fun, doing your thing?
It's just really having that mindset of going out there each and every day, just knowing that it's always something that you can do, and it's just that purpose of just going out there and being able to do it. So we just try to put that have fun on it, that expectation of just going out there and doing it and just having fun while we do it.
What makes it fun for you going out there and playing every weekend?
Really just being able to go out there and just be with the guys, be with the team. That's just a big factor, just being out there with them, just seeing how they react, and just letting us bring a spark to the team and having them trust us and putting the trust in them. So we just harp on that as a team as well.
How did it feel getting that win over Northern Michigan after losing to them last season?
It felt great. I wouldn't say we are where we want to be, but we definitely are accomplishing goals that we have set and expectations that is set. So I feel like we just really are accomplishing the things that's in the way, and it's just another bear that was in the way this week.
You said you're not exactly where you want to be. What are some of those things that you think can still get better? I mean, everything probably can, but as a whole, what are some details that you could think of when you think about not where we want to be?
Really, we just had minimal mistakes that we shouldn't have made, and it's just little things that we had in games that as a team we know we got to fix, and it's fixable. So we just really got to get back to practice and fix those things, and it's doable.
Coming in from outside, how did the guys accept you from the start?
I feel like they took me in as a brother, as a family. It wasn't too much of a big deal. I just tried to get to know each and every one of the teammates on the team and just be around them and just create a bond with them.
Tell us what it's like to come back home and play in front of your family and the people that saw you play in high school, and tell us what the difference was and the adjustments you had to go from high school to college.
It was a big difference, but I mean, from high school to college, I love both offenses. It was great, and going to junior college, I feel like, and redshirting, that really helped me and helped me. That was like the big picture, helping me open my world of football aspects and school as well. So I feel like it just helped me gain a lot from what I didn't know and what I expected.
Did it help you to relax a little bit knowing coming back home to play here as opposed to when you were at Cisco?
Most definitely. I feel like it helped me in the long run, and I feel like it's still going to help me, and I feel like it's benefiting me today.
With conference play getting started now, it's kind of this next notch. Do you guys think of it that way, like taking it to another level, or just continuing to do just what you're doing?
We definitely got to take it to another level, but still have the same expectations as before. We just got to step up our game. We know that leading in the conference play, we got to step up our game and just have fun still.
All right, thanks, Kobe.
Thanks,
All right, we'll close today with head football coach Justin Kerrigan, whose Falcons defeated Northern Michigan 40-24 this past weekend, and who opened the One-Star Conference with Midwestern State Saturday night at 7 o'clock on the road.
Well, it was a good weekend, and one thing I talked about after the game I was most proud of was how our guys came out in the third quarter. Going into halftime, we were up 20-7. The long drive results in a touchdown. It's 20-14 going into halftime. It's a moment there in years past. I think that we drop our heads, kind of get the mindset of here we go again. come out in the third quarter, start the second half. Northern Michigan takes the ball, goes down the field, they score, and they're now up 21-20. And all this happened in the span of about 4 minutes on the game clock to go from 20-7 to now down 21-20. And I thought our guys handled it well, very mature, and didn't let it affect them. Continued to play the next play. And then we went right back down, kicked the field goal, regained the lead, and never looked back from there. And I thought that was a huge moment for our program and how everything unfolded at the end of the second, beginning of the third, and how much our guys just really kind of ignored it and kept going on to the next play. It was big stuff. Both sides of the ball, a lot of great effort. They had a 75-yard run there in the fourth quarter. Got them all the way down. Eventually in that drive, got all the way down to the 1 yard line. And I think the effort I think it was Clifton Holmes to make the tackle, or to come out of their own end. Guy breaks for a 75-yard run. Clifton eventually runs him down from behind. And that's a touchdown-saving tackle that we then end up holding him on the goal line to a field goal attempt. And I think all of that just within the effort to not give up on that play and understand the impact that it had in the game. It just shows a lot of the growth and maturity of our program where we're at right now. I couldn't be more proud of how they played Saturday.
Tell us about the improvement of your secondary the first 2 games of the season.
They've been fun to watch. Gotten their hands on quite a few balls and obviously interceptions. Some Clifton having back-to-back games with interceptions. He had another opportunity in there for another interception Saturday night, but it's fun to see us getting the ball back, making plays. The one thing that we highlighted in the team meeting, with Chris Hode having 16 tackles on the night, Keegan Gray had a great night. That stuff doesn't happen without the pressure up front. And the defensive line, who doesn't get a lot of credit if they're not getting sacks, for their play, their effort, their ability to contain the run, but to also to get after the quarterback a little bit, causes some errant throws and causes abilities for interceptions, opportunities for interceptions. So I think the defensive line ought to be recognized as well too. But it's been fun to watch those guys.
Taylor threw for 300 yards this past game. Is that something that kind of surprised you, or is that something that we can pretty much expect from him?
Well, he's got a short history with us, only 9 games last year, but definitely not a surprise to see him throw for 300. He's done it a few times. I thought they did a great job coming in. First pass going for 80 yards to Kobe. That was always fun to watch. That helps. But now he's a steady Eddie quarterback, and definitely I would be lying if I said it wasn't expected, for him to throw for 300.
Have you got to a confidence level with your kicking game to where you can trot the Casas out there anytime you need him without giving him a second thought?
Yeah, I think we showed that Saturday night. We were up by 6, and for a 35-yard field goal, sent him out there, and it's kind of a gray area. At that point on the field, do you go for it on 4th down? Do you take a chance of kicking it? I don't think there was really any hesitation of sending him out there. I thought for a freshman in his second game, ice water in his veins, he nailed the kick, and that's a huge kick. At that point in the game, it's in the 4th quarter, and it gives us a 2-possession lead. And I don't know if he ever thought twice about it. Just a fun individual to have on the team in the locker room. I know he's well loved by his teammates, obviously, by his coaches as well.
What kind of ratings do you consider him to have whenever you think about kicking or punting? Is it up to 35 to 40 or?
Yeah, it's always something I always defer to Coach Messenger. In the game, he'll usually tell me if we're in range or not, based on how he's kicking in pregame, the wind, things that nature that would affect the kick. The other thing that never comes up is you got to have a good hold. You got to have a good snap, got to have a good hold, and some of those things affect the kick. I recognized Caleb Forrest. He's our holder. Obviously, for Hayden to have the success he has, there's a lot that goes into the operations of a kick for a guy to be successful. I always defer to Coach Messenger on when we can kick a field goal or not.
There were a couple of times that he picked the ball up off the ground and got it down where he could.
Did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, the holder is the one that's an unsung hero.
And the snapper too. It's got to be a good snap. And this year the kicking game looks much better than what you dealt with last year, so that's good.
It is good. is
Coach,
fun.
in the past, you mentioned that you like to play with a high pace, but in that game, you kind of had to play both sides, the high pace and then slow down at times. What does that say how does that speak rather to the versatility of this team that they can play both styles?
Well, generally, if we're slowing down, it's because we're trying to milk the clock and secure the victory and get on the bus and head home. For us, we want to be fast-paced, and I think the way we were able to play allowed us to win that game in the fourth quarter. We were able to wear them down physically and be able to, end some drives. That the last drive of the game for us, where Gabe Nelson, punched it in, broke, 5-6 tackles. A lot of that has to do with him being a tremendous running back, but also the fatigue of the defenders. And we highlighted that on tape and kind of showing our guys, here's what happens when you play fast and you're up tempo and you're executing your assignment. Here's what they look like in the first quarter, now here's what they look like in the fourth quarter. And we've definitely taken a toll on them. And it's always good to see offensively when you can physically dominate somebody and get into the fourth quarter like that.
Got conference play coming up. What's this matchup looking like this weekend?
Incredibly difficult. I think, and the one thing I told our team is, we put up 60 against Wayland Baptist. You're supposed to win that game. Putting 60 up kind of puts a little bit of a spotlight on you, that we're taking the right steps. And then we go out and we put 40 up and beat Northern Michigan 40-24. That I don't think anybody's really going to sleep on us too much. I think Midwestern State's going to be well prepared. I think it's going to be a ball game that we're going to have to go in and fight. It's going to be a 4-quarter matchup. However it comes out, it's going to be a 4-quarter matchup that I think our guys are up for. It's going to be a great challenge, and I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.